First of all, I'd like to welcome you all on behalf of Microsoft and thank the region of Trento for hosting us for this first experiment. It's the first time that we are trying to be the enablers of a debate, a discussion amongst regions. The idea tonight is that you speak to yourselves, you speak amongst yourselves and share your experiences and be an example for other regions across Europe to take the initiative and to take the investments needed to move into the new generation of computing, the new era that is going to bring, we think, and studies have shown, about 30 to 40% productivity gains once more. If we look at the history of computing, in the 50s, we had the first big computers made by IBM, big machines in the cellars that would produce a lot of paper. And they asked the founder of IBM, Watson, how many he thought they would sell of these computers. And the answer was 4 or 5, because they costed many millions and they only calculated mathematics. Of course, he was proven wrong, and we know what happened. So for the 40s to the 70s, we had this great expansion of computing, and people began to compute and measure and do improvements. But then the second revolution came, the PC, in the 70s. And with that, Microsoft and Bill Gates and many other companies. And we had this second big revolution that liberated people from the machine in the cellar with the Holy of Holies, all the priests that would manage the big machine. You had to go and ask permission to calculate. Now you do it yourself, free, in your office. You develop, you create new ideas, you open a new era for your company or for your business, and you liberate yourself from the shackles of costs. So that gave another 30% productivity. And in America and Europe, we could see the great development in the 70s, 80s, 90s, where we were leading in the world with new technologies, all enabled by the PC revolution that enabled people and companies and governments to move their business into this new world. But we're reaching the limits of that technology when this new technology comes on the scene. We are in the third revolution, about to start. It's called cloud computing. And it liberates you not only from your machine in your house, it liberates companies from the capital investment of buying machines and equipment. It liberates communes and towns from the cost of running an IT service. So you don't need machines in your cellar, no investment. All you need are screens and an internet connection. And then you use and you pay for only what you use in big centers that are run very technologically advanced with the most advanced software. So you don't even have to fall behind in your software upgrades. So you actually buy what you need, you pay what you need, and you don't tie capital inside your company or inside your region or inside the balance sheet of government. And then the calculation is a 70–80% reduction of cost of computing. We take an example, Microsoft. We did an analysis of our own servers before cloud. And we were looking at how many servers we had and how much capital we tied up and how much we used it. And if you think, I give you a guess, how much do you think we used of our investment, how much percentage was actually used every day? The answer is about 10 to 15%. So 85% of the capital, even in a company like Microsoft, which is very advanced, was unused because it doesn't get used in the night. Not everybody works 8 hours a day on the computer. And then sometimes you don't need to do calculations. So it's sitting there, tick, 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 and you're paying for it. Today with the cloud, you only use what you need. And if you need to increase for 1 month of the year, like the tax authorities in January, February, when all the tax people come in, or the tourist industry in summer, which in the south, I come from Malta, we have, like you all, important tourist industry. It grows in May, June, July, August, September, and big peaks, and you need big machines for the peaks, which are doing nothing in winter. So the whole benefit of cloud computing is going to come to this world. In fact, cloud computing is not new. We were talking the other day at dinner, how many of us have Hotmail or emails? I think everybody in this room. How many years? 10, 15 years we've been doing it. We are all in the cloud. Because Hotmail is a cloud service. When you open your Hotmail, you bring down not only your history, but also the software that comes with it. So in your computer, there's nothing. And you don't need any big CD disks and all that to keep. It's all in the cloud. And you send it back when you finish, and you bring it back when you... And it's safe. It's being there like that. It's secure. It's yours. Now industry is putting its business in that service. But governments are not. And this is the discussion of today, I think. The big shift in Europe, the big economic recovery, the big cost cutting will happen when the biggest user of data, the user of big data, the storer of information, governments, cities, regions, counties, move their services from their holy little shrine with all their computer and their own service. I am the Ministry of Justice and you are the Ministry of Health. We don't share because I have my own IT, you have your own IT. When they take the courage to share first nationally, then regionally, then cross-region, then cross-country and cross-region, and then pan-European, we will get a competitive advantage that there's nothing like in this world. 500 million, diversity, inventors, great people with great brains. We need to move together into this new service. And I think this is the topic of today. Just a little example. Microsoft has about 400,000 small and medium-sized industries across all Europe, in every country, that are working on our technology, developing new products and serving customers. They employ about 2 million people. Like that, we could get networks and systems and groups regionally. Why not? Why don't you develop inter-region people who are working together to move the services of the counties and the region? Many regions have done this step, but they've done it in a cloud that is regional, my own cloud, or the cloud of my services in my region. It's too small. The competition is India, it's China, it's Brazil. It's not your neighboring county or the region across the border. I mean, if in the Italian region, it's not the Swiss region or the French region that's your competitor. It's the world outside. So I think we are hoping that you can show us with the examples of the most advanced regions. And in this case, we have the regions of the south of Europe. And why do we have these regions only today? Because the initiative comes from the Microsoft South Europe government relations team. And it is from Portugal, from Spain, and from Italy. And if it works, if this experiment leads to good debate, good discussions, new ideas, we will hope to repeat it with more regions, of course, always inviting our founder regions from the south of Europe, and then we will add it to the middle of Europe, the north of Europe, and hopefully we create a network of people thinking about technology and seeing how we can all together move forward. We only want to be enablers. We hope that you will think about what we have to offer together with other competitors in the same business. We want you all to go to the new revolution because you will gain by it. In principle, that is the objective behind it. It will also need investments in infrastructure because we must enable everybody to join us on this road. It is a big journey and we cannot leave anybody behind. The unemployed, the people changing jobs from the traditional jobs to the jobs of the future, the young people coming out of school and university. My generation, the older people across Europe, many of them are cut off. They are not used to internet. Only 20% of people above 50 use the internet across Europe, and we need to bring it up to 100%. The young people is 97, 98% already using the internet. So there is the service, but it is not used enough. I think that is my theme for tonight.